Today, we are stripping away the buzzwords and getting right down to the actual mechanical code of leverage. We're diving straight into the core concepts from Chapter 2 of the Leverage Code, specifically designed for those of you who absolutely refuse to spend the rest of your lives just trading your precious time for a paycheck. We're going to unpack the exact mathematical sequence that separates the people who are stuck in the grind from the ones who are truly free.
So here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the mathematical reality of leverage. Second, the 4 types of leverage you can use. Third, we'll build the 5-floor stack. And finally, we'll wrap up with a really actionable 7-day framework to validate your niche.
All right, Section 1, the mathematical reality of leverage. Let's anchor ourselves in some cold, hard math, rather than just floating around in vague business aspirations.
You know, you scroll through literally any business feed right now, and you'll see the word leverage thrown around everywhere. It's kind of become this meaningless decoration people use to sound smart. But what does it actually mean? Because without a concrete definition, you can't build it, you can't measure it, and you definitely can't use it to escape that time for money trap.
Well, here's the reality. Mathematically, leverage is just a simple ratio. It is your output divided by your input. That's it. It's not some mystical goal. It is a hard, measurable metric. And I promise you, once this clicks, once you truly see this code, how you spend your time is going to change permanently. You completely stop asking, how many hours can I work today? And you start asking, how much output can this one single hour generate?
To put that into perspective, let's contrast a traditional worker's 1-to-1 ratio with a builder's 1-to-100 ratio. A 1-to-1 ratio simply means 1 hour of your work produces exactly 1 unit of result, right? But a 1-to-100 ratio means that exact same hour produces 100 units of result. Look, the biological ceiling is exactly the same for both people. We all literally only have 24 hours in a day. It is the exact same hour on the clock, but the outcome is wildly different. That ratio is the core code we are cracking today.
Moving on to Section 2, the toolkit. Now that we understand the math, let's look at the 4 distinct types of leverage you can actually use to hit that 1-to-100 ratio. Think about the massive contrast and the barriers to entry here. Labor and capital? Those are the oldest forms of leverage, but they require a ton of money and management just to get your foot in the door. But media and code, or AI, these are the great equalizers of our time. Media is built once and consumed forever. Code is a system built once that just runs forever. For both of these, the cost of entry is approaching 0.
The really crucial takeaway here is that you do not need wealthy investors or a massive team of employees to start leveraging media and AI today. You just need a phone, an internet connection, and the knowledge that this code actually exists. The tools are basically free. The massive advantage goes to the people who know how to sequence them correctly.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 3, the 5-floor stack. Leverage doesn't just happen by accident. It compounds in a very specific sequential blueprint. Let's build this thing floor by floor.
Floor 1 is expertise. What do you know how to do that someone else would happily pay for? And listen closely to this. It does not need to be some incredibly rare, world-changing discovery, but it absolutely must be specific, real knowledge. That is your baseline raw material.
Floor 2 is documented systems. Honestly, this is where almost everyone drops the ball. Undocumented knowledge has absolutely 0 leverage because it dies the exact moment you stop paying attention to it. If it only lives in your head, it's just a job. You have to write your expertise down as a repeatable process. Documenting it detaches the value from your immediate memory and creates something that exists entirely independently of you.
Floor 3 takes those documented systems and runs them straight through AI amplification. This is where we really start turning up the dial. You take those repeatable processes from Floor 2, and you use AI tools to research, draft, and analyze at a speed you could never achieve on your own. AI is a multiplier. It doesn't replace your expert judgment. It replaces the slow, repetitive execution so you can produce the same result in a fraction of the time.
Floor 4 is content distribution. Okay, so you have your expertise documented and amplified. Now you have to get it out into the world. You publish your work consistently to build an audience. And the truly beautiful thing about media leverage is that this audience compounds with or without your active minute-by-minute promotion. Your content is out there doing the heavy lifting for you 24/7.
And finally, we reach the penthouse. Floor 5 is productized value. This is the holy grail. This is where your knowledge is officially packaged into something that can be sold to the 100th person or the 1,000th person at the exact same cost as that very first sale.
The profit margin is near 100%, and delivering it requires 0 extra hours from you.
But hold on, because here is the fatal mistake people make over and over again. Trying to jump straight to floor 5. We see it all the time, right? People want to launch and sell a course on day 1, but they have no real expertise, no documented systems, no AI workflows, and absolutely 0 audience. When you try to build sideways and start at floor 5, the entire stack just wobbles and collapses. You absolutely must respect the sequence. Build up, not sideways.
Section 4. Validating your niche in 1 week. Because a brilliant system pointed at a problem nobody actually cares about is still completely worthless.
So, instead of guessing for a month and wasting your time, use this exact 7-day framework. Days 1 and 2, run a pain survey to find out what's actually frustrating your audience. Day 3, scan your competitors. Day 4, check if people are actually paying for these solutions. Days 5 and 6, embrace yourself for this one, you actually get off the internet and have 3 real human-to-human conversations with your target audience. Then day 7, you make your decision. It's incredibly fast, it's methodical, and it's driven by actual data, not just your assumptions.
On that all-important day 7, you are making the ultimate decision based on 3 mandatory criteria. Number 1, is there real validated pain? Number 2, is there a demonstrated willingness to pay to solve that pain? And number 3, do you have genuine expertise to offer? If you can confidently answer yes to all 3, you have your green light. But if you are missing even a single one of those criteria, you need to refine your idea before you spend another minute building anything.
To truly escape the time for money trap, you have to fundamentally shift your mindset. You are never going to outwork 1,000 competitors. Biology will eventually break you. But using the leverage code, you absolutely can outbuild them. So I want to leave you with this one question to think about. If you completely stopped working tomorrow, would your income flatline by Friday? If the answer is yes, then it's time to start building your stack. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll see you in the next one.